when I got this, I just looked at sort of the remaining free agents that are out there and the moves that Washington could still make moving forward. And I came across this guy, and I'm interested. Nick Chubb, running back. Cleveland drafted 2 running backs last weekend. They drafted Judkins from Ohio State, and they drafted Sampson from Tennessee. A clear indication that they are not going to come back to Nick Chubb to try to get him on a 1-year, deal. As he is 29 years old, will turn 30, I think, during the season next year. Nick Chubb has been, during the course of his career, at times, an elite running back. His issue, of course, has been staying healthy. Nick Chubb is 29 years old. Nick Chubb's had some incredible seasons. He rushed for 1,494 yards in 2019, averaged 5 yards a carry. In 2022, just 3 seasons ago, in 17 games for the Browns, 1,525 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5.1 yards per carry. He started off 2023, and before getting injured, 28 carries, 170 yards, 6.1 yards per carry. And then last year, after being injured and then coming back during the season, he had a season in which he rushed for just 3.3 yards and then broke his foot at the end of the season. This is the issue with Chubb. It's health more than anything else. He came back last year off of a knee injury in October and didn't look to be the same back. Now, Cleveland wasn't a very good team either. They were no threat to throw the football as long as Deshaun Watson was playing. Defensively, they were good, but they just wore down game in and game out because they just didn't have the quarterback play. And there was thought that Chubb may, after multiple injuries, maybe that's it. Now, he's posted videos recently of himself working out. Andrew Berry, GM, said that he looks great. And he's out there and he's available for probably a 1-year, not a total 100% prove it deal, but I would bet it would be heavy on incentives. And there are teams sniffing around. Chicago apparently is very interested. They have DeAndre Swift, and that's essentially it. And I thought about him, and I'm like, at his best, man, we have seen this dude dominate games. At his best, at his healthiest, he is a true lead back, every down back, and borderline elite, like borderline up there with the best in the game. Obviously, this would be all health driven. He's got to, meet your med team's, specs on this guy's cool. The knee's good, the foot's good, the shoulder's good. This guy's fine. Now, will he get injured? He's proven to be somewhat injury. He just has the injury bug. He seems to be one of those guys that gets injured. But if he's healthy enough right now to be considered to be Nick Chubb, I'd take a flyer on him. Absolutely. I mean, they picked a running back in the 7th round. We can talk about Adam Peters cooking and playing chess over checkers and that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's going to be the steal of the draft. And I read somewhere, somebody sent me something that some draft analyst thinks he's going to be the steal of the draft. Okay, well, maybe. Nick Chubb's proven. And if you got him on a 1-year, $6-7 million deal with a lot of it in incentives and not a lot of it guaranteed, sign me up for Nick Chubb. He's much better than Brian Robinson Jr. I think we can all agree on that. Now, is he going to be healthy? Give it a shot. You've got Brian Robinson Jr. if he breaks a leg, or if he tears a knee again, or if he breaks a foot, or tears a shoulder, whatever, he's had everything. But I would definitely, the Zadarius Smith thing, I'm okay with. To me, you're trying to get, the sack total that Fowler Jr. left you with, 10.5, regardless of what we say about him as a run stopper. He got 10.5 sacks last year for this team. Can they scheme up 10.5 for somebody else? Can they scheme up 10.5 for Dietrich Wise or Dorrance Armstrong or Frankie Louvu? Maybe. But I'd be really, really interested in taking a look at Nick Chubb. Again, there is some thought that when he came back last year, he was not the same player. Okay? I'm just saying, let's take a look. Let's make sure that he's not, potentially going to be the same player again. There've been videos out there with him squatting 600 pounds. So, him essentially saying the leg issues are behind me. This dude's always had, great feel for the game, great hands, been a great pass pro guy in the backfield. Part of the reason that Chicago is interested, Chicago's going for it to a certain degree. They, in Ben Johnson's first year, they're obviously very active in free agency with their additions for Caleb Williams. They drafted Luther Burden in the second round. They drafted Colston Loveland, the tight end, in the first round. They added Joe Thuney. They added who did they add defensively? They added somebody old but really good defensively. Hold on, where is it? Oh, yeah, Grady Jarrett they added. I mean, Grady Jarrett was still good last year at 30 whatever years old he is. And DeAndre Swift and Nick Chubb, I'm pretty sure were teammates at Georgia. It was like a 1-2 punch, Swift and Chubb at Georgia. I don't know, man. I'd like to see another NFC team be interested and take a shot because you know what? Washington could use a bellwether back. I'd be very interested in finding out whether or not Nick Chubb is healthy enough to be Nick Chubb next year. This dude, when he's been healthy and been on the field, has been elite. His career average yards per carry is 5.1. This guy finds the end zone. He's a home run threat. He is a short yardage threat. He's everything. He can catch the football out of the backfield. He had the season in which he rushed for 1,494 yards, year 2 in the league. He also caught 36 passes out of the backfield. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I'd be interested in just players that are out there that you've said, there's still some guys out there, and I'll mention some of the other guys. But Chubb would be really interesting to me. I still think Washington needs a running back. Not knowing much other than what I watched, like all of you did, about the rookie running back that they took in the draft, Merritt.